Welcome back. We're here with Ben Munger from LV1Media.com. And Ben, we've been talking about social media, which you're an expert at, and websites, and that whole field of developing brands for people and for businesses. And it's really a fascinating field. How do you go about starting this process?
Well, the first thing is we have to really understand, our client's target market and their overall goals, what they're looking to achieve as far as when we generate traffic and drive it to their website. So, obviously the website has a big part to do with it, and making sure that we're, telling the story and portraying to the clients and your prospects what exactly, we're doing as far as services, and if not selling products. But then the next step is to really, design the website and the capture page, and get into putting the right content onto the website, and then focusing on generating that content and distributing it through social media. Right now, everybody's hanging out on social media, and as far as the search engine goes, if you're not on the first page of Google or the top major search engines, you're just not going to be found, and your competitors are going to get that traffic and those prospects, and you could potentially lose out a lot of business.
Yeah, no, I understand, in case anyone's listening out here that needs your services, which is probably everybody that's listening in, you've been able to take some companies and some products to the top of the search engines, right?
Yes, yeah, we've definitely gotten some companies up into the top pages of the search engines, and we've done some major social media campaigns, and it's something that we focus on is primarily when we're working with companies, as opposed to a lot of other design agencies where they're just focusing on getting you a nice looking website and graphics. Our focus is to really generate traffic and targeted traffic.
Yeah, to make sure something happens with all that.
Right.
Now, how big a team you have? I understand you have people in multiple countries. Is that right?
Yes, we do. We actually have we have two teams. We have a fulfillment team for our design based in the Philippines. We have about 55 designers working two shifts over there. Wow. And then we have about 150 employees in India that are primarily writing content and doing a lot of our SEO work. And we started outsourcing because it just makes a lot of sense as far as productivity and efficiency. We started outsourcing quite a few years ago. We do have some people here in the States. We have project managers, and we do have some people that oversee a lot of the work. My partner in India actually went to school here. He went to NYU and graduated here, and went back there and started the team up. So we do outsourcing when it makes sense and it's cost effective for the client. But we do have an in-house team here that overlooks and oversees everything.
Yeah. Plus, it gives you an opportunity to go for an excuse, I guess, for
Absolutely.
going on vacation.
Yeah, exactly.
Get a free vacation out of it.
Absolutely. Yeah, those are some of the perks.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, what's one of the best projects you've ever done? What one that you might be most proud of?
Oh, man.
You don't have to tell us the name of the company or anything, but just
we've done so many different projects in the health and fitness industry, which is my first passion. Like I said, I was a trainer and nutrition specialist for almost 2 decades. Still doing it till this day. Actually, I'll never get out of it. Have a very strong passion in fitness. So we've worked with a lot of fitness professionals and helped them with their social media accounts and help them brand themselves. And we work with some product companies. We work with different vitamin companies. Some professional athletes. We've worked with some athletes that we've done different campaigns with. So to me, that's where my background lies, and that's where my passion is. So I have the most fun doing working in the health and fitness industry. But we have clients that range in all different industries.
Sure.
So we'll work with anybody really. But
that's something everybody needs.
Yeah.
Is it different when you're working with a high profile person, a celebrity, or or a company that has some brands that are household names, is it different with them than just a normal person or company?
I mean, in one sense, it could be a little bit easier. I mean, you have to obviously, focus on their specific niche, or their vertical of what they're, if they're a professional athlete that's, in MMA, let's say, we're focusing on a product that they have. We obviously have to target to that particular vertical, but sometimes it can actually be easier because they have a following already and they already have a name. So, we can kind of use that celebrity status and help them really monetize their traffic. The proper hashtags and the proper, articles and different, campaigns that we can do for them, can really kind of supercharge it if they've already got a following out there. So,
I want to ask you a question about coming up with a name. If you have a brand new company, and finding a name now is pretty difficult. But I was thinking, and this is a tip if you're listening in. It always amazes me how some people have crazy email addresses.
right.
And they're using one of the big companies, and sometimes they're using an old company that's not even around anymore, that used to be big 20 years ago or 15 years ago or whenever it was.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that everyone should go get their name registered. I mean, to register a domain name, it's $10 a year or something. It's not very much, right?
Correct. Yeah.
And then you can have your email address pointed, there, so you can be, bob@bobsmith.com.
Right.
Right? If you can get Bob Smith, but a lot of people don't even think about that.
Right.
Especially if you have a business, it makes sense to make sure you register your business. If it's Tommy's Hamburgers, get Tommy's Hamburgers.com.
Right.
And then you can have your email be Tommy at Tommy Hamburgers, and because there's a lot of little things like that people just don't think about, and I'm sure you have to remind them, right?
Right.
Yeah.
That's very important, and we run into that a lot, believe it or not. A lot of people will start to build a website. They might have had a previous designer start on a website and start their branding process, and they haven't gone to check to see if their domain name is available.
Right.
And then they'll, end up having to try to bid for it if it's an auction, or maybe try to contact the seller who owns that domain name, and that could be challenging and could take a lot of time, and that could really kind of crush your brand. So you get excited about a certain name or a certain brand, and then you find out somebody owns that domain name. So we always like to tell people, if this is a new startup, make sure that you first get your domain name, do your research, look at not just the actual domain name, but look at some things that sometimes people might put "my" in front of it, or put a certain catchphrase in front of it, or at the end of it. Make sure that somebody doesn't have something similar out there, because that could affect your traffic. So
yeah, well, there's a lot of new extensions. .com, of course, was the first one, the important one, in my opinion.
Right.
To me, it wouldn't make sense to have a business and not use a .com name, but
right.
But there's a lot of them. There's a .Las Vegas, right?
Oh yeah, there's a .Vegas. There's tons of them now.
All kinds of things.
Probably like 100 new ones. Yeah.
Yeah, and does it ever make sense to use one of those other ones?
I think a lot of people. We don't have too much experience in using them. I do know a couple of people that are using like .Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people are starting to take those if they're obviously, like, there's some that are .clothing. If you have a clothing company, you already have a .com. Maybe you want to set up a new pay-per-click campaign, or maybe you want to set up a new social media campaign where you're going to drive people back to a capture page.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
That's something where you can.
That's how you could use it.
Yeah, you could pick that domain name up and put that capture page or landing page separately on that domain name, and just drive traffic towards that on a certain campaign. That's how I would personally use it. Mm-hmm. The .coms, obviously, you're holding the most weight. Yeah. So if you can get the .com, even though so many of them are already taken, I would recommend that. But then if you're going to do some different campaigns, having a different
absolutely
extension could
Well,
work.
when we come back, Ben, I want you to give us some tips,
Okay.
some secrets, some things that you just don't get anywhere else. Okay.
Sure.
Okay, we'll be right back.
Thanks.